The tariffs are coming, and trucks are about to get a whole lot pricier. At least some of them. Some pickups will take a massive price hike, and others will stay surprisingly affordable. So if you're thinking about buying a truck soon, you need to know which ones to avoid, and which ones will still be a great deal. We are here to help you with our list of 5 worst and 5 best pickup trucks to buy when tariffs hit. Let's start with the worst ones. Those that will be affected by new tariffs the most and won't be a particularly great value anymore. Number 5. Ford Maverick. The Ford Maverick took the pickup market by storm, thanks to its versatile design, excellent fuel economy, and superior ride quality. But its key selling point has always been the super affordable price. Once the tariffs come into effect, all that is going to change, and the Maverick won't be such an amazing value anymore, because the Maverick is one of the least US-made pickups on the market, with just 26% of parts sourced from the United States. The truck is assembled in the Hermosillo plant in Mexico, alongside Bronco Sport and Escape, while the fact that one of its powertrains is also produced in Mexico makes things even more complicated. Namely, the hybrid is assembled in the Chihuahua engine plant in Mexico. So it's easy to conclude that it's going to be affected by tariffs even more than the gas-only version. Anyway, both versions will get more expensive, so we are not sure if the super high demand will remain in the future. Number 4. Toyota Tacoma. Who would have thought that moving complete production to Mexico would end up being such a huge mistake? Before the current generation kicked in, half of all Tacomas were produced in the US. But then, Toyota decided to make additional cost savings by setting entire production in 2 Mexican plants, Baja and Guanajuato. So today, the Tacoma is one of the least US-made trucks on the market and, logically, the new tariff is going to bring a price increase. The only mitigating circumstance is that, although assembled in Mexico, the Tacoma still used engines that are built in US plants, both gas-only and hybrid units, so things should be slightly less dramatic than in Maverick's case. Number 3. Ram HD. Another truck that will soon become one of the worst choices is the Ram HD, because even though this truck stands out as the most refined in the class, it has one big problem. It's assembled in the Saltillo truck assembly plant in Mexico. That's been the case for decades, so clearly, we are talking about one of the least American-made trucks on the US market. Moreover, the problem is that these mighty trucks are not only assembled in Mexico, but major parts are also made south of the border. This particularly refers to the 6.4-liter Hemi V8, one of the 2 engines available in this truck. Luckily, the diesel engine is still made in the Cummins plant in Indiana, so those variants should bring a little bit smaller price increase. Number 2. Ford F-150. America's most popular truck may be assembled in U.S. plants like Dearborn and Kansas City, but that doesn't make it the most American-made pickup around. Actually, it's quite the opposite, as the most recent data shows that only 32% of the parts are U.S.-made. The rest come from various sides, including Canada and Mexico. So it's pretty easy to conclude that the F-150 is headed toward massive price increases. Days of its affordability are numbered, so be prepared to pay much more than the current $37,000 for the base models. The F-150 may suffer a bit from new tariffs, but we are still talking about a huge seller that, although expensive, will probably continue in the same rhythm. After all, it's such an important model for the Blue Oval that we are sure the company will figure out how to increase the US-made index and prevent any significant price increase. Number 1. Chevy Silverado 1500. Finally, the truck that might suffer the most from new tariffs is the Silverado 1500, because this Chevy is the least American-made truck on the market. 37% of the parts come from the US and Canada. Another 37% comes from Mexico, while the rest remains undisclosed. All in all, it's clear that there's a huge percentage of parts coming from Canada and Mexico, so we may expect massive increases in the near future. Still, GM might find a way to deal with the new situation. The mitigating circumstance is that this full-size pickup is produced both in the US and Mexico. It depends a lot on the configuration you choose, because single-cab models come from Mexico, while crew-cab variants are American-made. The same thing is true with engines and transmissions, because they are also produced both in the US and Mexico, which means that, with some reorganization, Chevy could improve its American-made score significantly. But that will take time, and in the meantime, we expect the Silverado to be way less affordable. Today, it's the cheapest of the big three. Now that we've checked trucks that will become some of the worst once tariffs come into power, let's check the best ones. Those that shouldn't suffer from new tariffs all that much. Number 5. Chevrolet Colorado. Unlike its full-size sibling, the Colorado is a true American pickup because the vast majority of parts are sourced from the US. The truck is assembled in Missouri, but the thing is that despite cost-cutting trends and other factors, GM has managed to keep a big portion of the supply chain local. It's needless to say that both engine and transmission are also assembled in the US. That's why Colorado has such a strong domestic content rating, and that's why it won't be affected by new tariffs all that much. The price shouldn't change drastically, so Colorado will remain one of the best options in the segment, offering class-leading towing capacity, excellent off-road performance, and overall versatility, while being one of the most affordable models in the segment. Number 4. Ford Ranger. Although it was designed in Australia, the Ranger is actually one of the most American-made pickup trucks, at least when we talk about the version that's sold in North America, because Ford has consistently emphasized local production and kept most of it within U.S. borders. The truck is assembled in Wayne, Michigan, while the engine, transmission, and frame are all U.S.-made too, meaning that even though some parts of the truck are globally sourced, the Ranger keeps a significant portion of its value within the U.S. economy. Because of that, it won't be affected by the new tariff all that much. Unlike some of its key rivals, it doesn't rely on Mexican and Canadian plants. The pricing should remain similar, which will keep the Ranger an excellent value, considering that, in return, it offers great versatility, respectable towing and payload capacities, and unparalleled off-road performance. Number 3. Jeep Gladiator. The Gladiator sales figures have been going down lately, but we have no doubt that this will change once the new tariffs come into effect, because despite the drawbacks and limitations, this impeccable off-roader is still one of the most American-made trucks on the market. Engine, transmission, frame, all parts are U.S. sourced. The truck is assembled in Toledo, Ohio, Jeep's plant that also has sentimental value due to deep historical roots, as it's been a cornerstone of Jeep's production for decades, not to mention that it supports thousands of American workers. With all that in mind, as well as the fact that its price shouldn't be affected all that much, we expect that the Gladiator will once again become one of the most appealing midsize trucks on the market. It looks great, it can tow a lot, and its cabin is spacious. Above all, it's the best off-roader you can get for the money. Number 2. Toyota Tundra. Of all the full-size trucks from the big three, the most American-made model is the one with a Japanese badge. That's right. The most American full-size truck is the Toyota Tundra, assembled in San Antonio, with over 60% of the parts sourced mostly from the US, with some small portion coming from Canada. We don't believe that the tariffs should affect its price all that much. The Tundra will remain competitively priced and, therefore, one of the best pickup trucks you can buy, because it has so much to offer, starting from strong work capabilities, strong off-road potential, powerful engine options, pretty impressive ride quality, and of course, Toyota's reputation for durability and longevity. Number 1. Honda Ridgeline. The Ridgeline is already one of the best pickups on the market, famous for its unparalleled ride quality, smoothness, and reliability. And when the new tariffs come into effect, it will become an even better value, because although a Honda, this is the most American-made pickup on the market, ranked 6th overall in the American-Made Index. That's because the Ridgeline is produced in Honda's plant in Alabama, alongside Passport and Pilot. Moreover, the engine is produced in the same plant, while a huge portion of components is sourced locally. The Ridgeline is so American that, in some model years, it managed to reach up to 75% of the domestic parts. So its pricing shouldn't be affected by the new tariffs all that much. And as we can see, it won't just remain one of the best values on the market. It will remain the truck that supports American workers and suppliers the most. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.